Welcome to The Grounded Leader, Ayurvedic wellness for leaders who want to succeed from a place of balance. A podcast where ancient practices meet ambitious goals to help you operate with strength, clarity, and grounded intention. I'm your host, Sweta Vikram, an Ayurvedic doctor, trauma informed yoga teacher, award winning author, mindfulness coach, corporate wellness speaker, adjunct professor, and a lifelong student of what it really means to lead with clarity, purpose, and peace. Each week, we'll explore holistic wellness, how to excel in authentic leadership, and live with balance and purpose. Let's dive in. As Valentine's Day floods our world with images of romance and perfection, it can quietly awaken feelings of loneliness, comparison, or self doubt, even in the most accomplished amongst us. Every February, the world tells us to measure love by grand gestures, bouquets, and Instagram posts. In this solo episode, I explore what happens when leaders stop outsourcing love and start cultivating self worth from within. For leaders and all humans striving to live with purpose, Valentine's Day can be a mirror reflecting something deeper, our relationship with ourselves. I invite you to reframe Valentine's Day as a wellness check in rather than a commercial holiday. In this episode of the Grounded Leader podcast, Self Worth as the Foundation of Leadership and Well-being, we'll explore how self worth impacts your leadership presence, how unexamined emotions like loneliness or comparison can quietly affect your team dynamics, and how to cultivate a grounded sense of love, one that begins within. If you've ever felt the weight of expectations or wondered how self love fits into the professional success, this episode offers calm clarity and compassion. If you've ever felt the tension between self love and external validation, this episode invites you to soften, reflect, and lead from sufficiency instead of scarcity. This month of February, it always brings with it a certain kind of energy, a flurry of red hearts, roses, and perfect couple posts on social media. We are told love must look a certain way, be performed in grand gestures, and be validated by someone else's affection. But what if this season, instead of searching for love outside of ourselves, we turned inward and asked, how am I showing up for me? Today's episode isn't about romance, it's about self worth and how your relationship with yourself quietly shapes the way you lead, connect, and thrive. Valentine's Day, for many, isn't all hearts and champagne. For some, it stirs grief for relationships lost. For others, loneliness. And for leaders, it can ignite another kind of pressure, the silent belief that a value is tied to how loved or admired we appear. Even if we know better, the mind compares. Look at them, they're so happy. Maybe I should be doing more, being more, giving more. Comparison, whether it's about love, work, or success, chips away at presence. It disconnects us from our essence. In Ayurveda, imbalance begins with disconnection. When we move too far from who we are. Valentine's Day, if we are not mindful, can become one of those moments where we forget that our worth isn't up for negotiation. What does it mean to lead from self worth instead of validation? Self worth is not arrogance. It's not saying I'm better than others. It's the grounded knowing that you're already whole without needing applause, approval, or a dozen roses to prove it. When leaders forget this, they start leading from scarcity. They overwork to earn praise, they overgive to feel needed, they overcompensate to fill the quiet spaces where self love should live. But when you remember your worth, something shifts. You make decisions from alignment, not anxiety. You set boundaries without guilt. You listen more deeply because you no longer fear being unseen. True leadership is an extension of self trust, and self trust is born from self worth. Let's bring this into practice. If you notice emotional turbulence around this season, a pang of sadness, a tinge of comparison, or the subtle urge to prove your lovability, pause. Take 3 conscious breaths and remind yourself, My worth is intrinsic. It doesn't increase with attention and it doesn't diminish with silence. Second, practice self love in tangible ways. Feed yourself nourishing food, step outdoors, rest without apology. Journal what you admire about yourself that has nothing to do with achievement. Third, redirect love outward intentionally. Send gratitude to someone who supported you. Tell your team what you appreciate about them. Give without expectation. It softens the heart and expands the field of connection. Finally, limit performative consumption, online or emotional. Ayurveda reminds us that digestion isn't just physical, we also digest experiences. Choose what you consume with awareness. When you lead from self worth, you create psychological safety around you. People sense your steadiness. They trust you more because you're not seeking validation from them. Love, in this way, becomes less about a single day on the calendar and more about how you relate to yourself every day with kindness, respect, and balance. Because here's the truth: how you love yourself determines the quality of every relationship you lead at work, at home, and within. As you move through this Valentine's season, may you remember that the most profound act of love is self acceptance. If today's reflection spoke to you, take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review the show. It truly helps others discover this space. And if you'd like to continue your journey of grounded leadership and holistic well being, visit my website, shwetavikram.com, or connect with me on Instagram at Sweta Vikram, that's my handle, for daily insights on Ayurveda, self leadership, and balance. Until next time, lead from love, lead from worth, and lead from within.